With us for this edition of Our Lives. I'm Gwen Edwards, and we thank you so much for your time. Did you know that there are many changes in the real estate market due to new regulations and the economy? My next guest will tell us all about it. Charles Scott is the owner of Tri-State Realty, which has offices throughout the area, and we want to welcome you back.
Thank you, Gwen, for having me.
All right, first of all, let's talk about the health of the housing market here in Connecticut.
Actually, the housing market here in Connecticut is pretty robust. If anything, we're suffering from a shortage of properties to sell. Our proximity to New York and Boston actually helps us because New York, we have the overflow of people that are coming into Connecticut. Many people work in New York, but they live in Connecticut. So therefore, that's helping the prices and also the properties.
Now, do you expect to see a large number of people during the spring begin to look for housing?
Yes, springtime, flowers bloom, people come out, the weather's warm, you can actually see the rooftops, you can inspect the house. So springtime now, people are starting to come out.
And are we seeing a number of people moving into Connecticut or moving out of Connecticut?
A lot of people are actually moving into Connecticut, and they're moving into Connecticut basically because of the prices. It's driven by the economy. In New York, the price of a home is $1 million, $2 million. So therefore, Connecticut still has affordable housing. It has housing where people are actually coming in on both sides, New York or Boston.
Okay, now let's talk about the new regulations.
The new regulations are, many people might remember the Dodd-Frank bill.
Right.
But the Dodd-Frank bill didn't come in all at once. It comes in stages. The Dodd-Frank bill was enacted to protect people. Going back within the last 5 to 10 years, many people lost their homes to foreclosure. So the Dodd-Frank bill is enacted to protect individuals as far as down payments, as far as regulations, as far as studying the contracts. This bill was enacted so that the financial industry, not only did it affect housing, but the entire financial industry. And the bill is TRID, there's some of these terminologies that are in the Dodd-Frank bill, but the biggest change, the Dodd-Frank bill, was to sort of limit the subprime lending. And the subprime lending was really the cause of a lot of people losing their homes.
And that was the collapse of the housing market.
Yes, the collapse of the housing market where the interest rates ran rampant, where you started out with a teaser rate and then the rate would go up.
8% and the next thing is 16 or higher.
Or higher. And individuals' incomes did not go up, but the interest rates went up. And so what happened is that they ended up losing their home because they would not be able to afford the property.
And many times the banks would not work with the individual, which was something the Obama administration worked very diligently along with Senator Dodd and with Representative Barney Franks to make sure that there were options for homeowners who found themselves underwater.
Yes, the Housing Affordable Plan, where individuals could modify their mortgage by lowering their interest rate or extending the term. In some cases, they even had principal reduction, where the banks would work with the people to reduce the amount of the mortgage payment so that the people could afford to stay within the homes. At first, a lot of the banks started foreclosing, but then they realized, what are we doing?
They didn't want to be homeowners. What are we going to do with all these empty properties?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's better to keep the person in the home and work with them.
Yes. Not only that, when you have a person leave the home, then it invites theft, it invites more damage to the property, and the bank loses more in the long run. So it's better to work with the people and keep people in the homes. Also, it affects the property values of the surrounding homes.
It does, and the neighborhoods begin to see a decline.
Exactly.
All right, well, we want you to stay where you are. We're going to continue to tap your expertise. When Our Lives continues, we're going to continue our conversation and look at a program that helps first-time home buyers. You want to hear this if you're interested in buying a home. Back after this.